So basically, picking out the car was the first step. For me, I was like, I don't know, because like I don't know what I want. This would be my first time actually getting a car for myself. So it's like, I did have a 2013 Chevy Malibu, and I did have a 2016 Kia Optima. And I was like, I don't want any of those cars. Honestly, I didn't want any of the new Malibus, and I didn't want any of the Kia Optima. So I was like, well, what can I do, or what can I see? So my first step was like, for me, I'm more of a performance type of person rather than luxury. So my first instinct was like, let me look up some cars that people enjoy, like longevity and things like that. So I looked it up. It was, of course, Toyota Camrys and Honda Civics. So I was like, well, let me take a look at the Honda Civics. I was looking, I was like, oh snap, I like them. And so I went to Carvana. At first, it was 3 places I was going. I started doing the physical search. I started going to Kia, Rivertown Toyota, Rivertown Ford, all the Rivertown. And I also went to AutoNation. That's where I was going to get my car. I was going to get a 2021 Volkswagen Jetta. And I was like, I mean, it's a car to drive now. I really don't feel like, this Jetta would be good for me. It doesn't, scream Da-Nay-jah. So yeah, that was the first thing. And so I was like, no, I'll wait. And so, because that was going to be simple. It was in my price range. It was a white car, but the inside was just nice. It was updated, and it had like only 50,000 miles. So I was like, okay. But I was like, no, let me check around and make sure that I really want this car, and yeah, so forth. So it was a whole run around, ripping and running, looking all over the place. And it was like no luck really. So after that, I was like, let me see if there's a way that I can like try online. So I was trying Auto Trader, Carvana, and there was something else. Oh, and I was trying places as like AutoNation in Atlanta, things nearby, so I can just like go run and pick it up, things like that. So I started looking on Auto Trader, and it wasn't really much. It was like everything from Carvana and just everyone all on one app. So I was like, okay. But then I went on Carvana to look at some Hondas, and I did see some nice ones. I was like, okay, I kind of like this, getting the feel of it and starting to like it more. So this was not my first choice. I'm glad I got it. I really am thankful that I got it. However, my first choice was it was a 2016 Honda Civic. But with that, it was gray, and it only had 49,000 miles on it. So I was like, okay, so since the cars are going to last long, that's even better for me, because, I'll probably be traveling and all that. So lower the miles, the better. So that was my first problem as well. Like, a car's value based off their mileage and how old the car is and things like that. So when I went to go ahead and start all the paperwork and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, this is the one I want, but the paperwork was already a process by itself. So when I finally, sat down, I was like, I'm gonna get this car. When I went on Carvana, it's first come, first serve. So someone already started the paperwork, so the car was locked and I couldn't get it. So that was the first bummer. And then secondly, I did see this car. This is one of my choices, because I really didn't, because my Kia was black and my Malibu was silver, and I wanted a gray car. I really wanted a gray Civic, but because black was already, like with my Kia, it get messed up really easily. So that's why I had got a membership for Tidal Wave, and yeah, so I got to get that as well for this one. So for that, see this car, I was like, okay, this one only had 54,000 miles on it. It's a 2016 Honda Civic. Nothing special. It's a LX, the base model, and I do enjoy it really. Like, you couldn't even tell, because it's pretty nice. And this is all the good things about it now. This is all the good things. I haven't even got to the messed up part yet. But yeah, so I was like, tomorrow, because get paid like every 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, so tomorrow when I get paid, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna fill out the paperwork, I'm gonna hurry up before someone else takes it. So that's when I filled out the paperwork. I was going through my bank and then filling out the paperwork and things like that. So the time came. When I went through my bank, it was a whole process because I basically needed the title and things like that. And then Carvana, when I called them and let them know that I can't finish my paperwork and get the car, but yeah, basically that in order to complete the process and have the car in time, I need the title. And they're like, oh, you don't need the title. Basically what will happen is once you finish the paperwork, that's when we'll be able to get the title, things like that. So I'm like, okay. So I called them back. I called my bank back and I was like, hey, you know, they need the title. I mean, they said that you don't need the title and things like that to finish the paperwork. He was like, yeah, we just need a copy of it. So basically they sent it to him finally. And so we finished all the paperwork. It was done electronically. I am like 10 minutes away from the bank, but I was like, just go ahead and send the paperwork because the first time I was there, it was just a waste of time. So figured that out and then my car was on the way. Now, here comes the bad part. Okay, so with that being said, the paperwork is completed. We're all good. I'm thinking that, oh, and I got my due date, the time that it was supposed to be delivered. All right, after the paperwork's all said and done, we're good. I got my delivery date, and my delivery date was, I believe, it was somewhere in August. I did everything around Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was supposed to be I was supposed to be getting my car that Saturday. So I'm like, okay, everything's good, you know. And this is right before school starts. So that'll be even better if I have my car, because I work at night and then go to school in the daytime. So that'll be nice for me to just have my car way before all that happens, just to get out of the, you know, situationship. So yeah, so let's see. I'd say like Thursday-ish, I had got a text stating that the delivery was something unexpected happened and there was going to be a transportation delay. And I was like, you know, I was kind of hoping for that Saturday, but it was okay. I was like, I'll figure out a way. You know, it's only 3 days. You know, I got class. My classes are broke up, so it's like 9 to 9:50, and then like after that, it's like 1 to 1:30, and then, you know, all the way up until 4 o'clock, or some where I just have 9 to 9:30 and go to work at 12, so I'll just be stuck at school. So that's what we had to figure out. After we got that done, I was like, that's a bummer. They didn't explain why, so I was like, okay, you know, transportation delay, things happen. So I was supposed to get my car Wednesday. It went from Saturday to Wednesday. I'm like, okay. So Wednesday morning, I had left school just to get here on time because it said it was supposed to be coming around 12. So I was like, okay, because I go to work at 12:30. I was like, yeah, you know, I need this car. So I'm just going to be like, you know what? They give you an hour to drive it, test drive it, and fill out the rest of the paperwork. So after that, I was going to go to work. So an hour before drop off, 11 o'clock, that's when the delivery driver had called me and was like, hey, I did just a check around the car, and I did see that the driver's side rearview mirror, it was shattered. So they basically have to do a repair and things like that. And he don't know how long it would be to repair it. It could be from, you know, that day all the way up until next Wednesday. And I was like, are you serious? Now I have to wait a whole week to get my car. So I was furious, not gonna lie, because it was already stressful enough not having a car in order to do everything I need to do for the day. And on top of that, yes, I'm going back to school, so I need the car. So, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. So I continue to call Carvana to see if they have any information, because, you know, the driver's not giving me anything. He just said he can't disclose this and that. So I called Carvana I'd say about 6 or 7 times that day. And basically they were talking about how they can't disclose it as well. However, there was someone that was like, you know, it is in your city. It's in Columbus, Georgia. They're just doing the repairs and everything like that. I'm gonna let them know to expedite the part because this is unfair, things like that. So I was like, thank you. You're the only person that helped me with this. And so basically, an hour after that phone call, that's when the delivery driver called me again and was like, hey, so, you know, we got the part expedited for you. I was like, sure. It was like, you got the part expedited for you, and we're gonna go ahead and get that in. And I was like, okay, since it's gonna be expedited, how long would that take? And he was like, if they get the part, this is all Wednesday now, so if we get the part Thursday morning, then your car will be ready by Friday. I was like, okay, 2 days, I can wait 2 days. And so I was like, that's fine. Friday came around, I was calling Carvana, and all they were telling me is that the car should arrive on Wednesday, and I'm like, then why did the driver tell me Friday? Like, no one understood why the driver was telling me something different. And I was trying to advise them, like, yeah, he told me if the part gets expedited and things like that. And so, you know, I escalated, called, talked to the supervisors and things like that. The first supervisor hung up on me, and then the second one was like, yes, ma'am, it seems as if they didn't get the expedited part, and they said that they tried to contact you, but there was no response, no pickup, and on top of that, my voice box was empty. And I was like, well, I haven't received the call, things like that. And she was like, it could be spam likely. I'm like, even if it is, it'll still have it under, you know, spam likely in the missed call. So basically I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Yeah, so basically I'm like, okay, well, if you're saying that it's going to come, she said it was gonna be like, the part was gonna either get expedited, it was gonna come in Friday afternoon, if not Saturday, so the car should be done Sunday, hopefully Monday. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's what the driver said, so I'm just going off of your word at this point. So Sunday came, I called them just to see, because I didn't want to wait till Monday and get bad news. So I was like, let me go ahead and call Sunday. So I called them, and basically another guy, he was helpful. He had helped me. He was like, yes, ma'am, I don't know why they tell you dates and things like that, because they wouldn't know. However, I do see that they tried to expedite the part and things like that. They didn't get it. And he was like, yeah, so I would just say your best bet would just be wait until Wednesday just to make sure, because, you know, anything could happen at this point. And I was like, well, thanks. And then he further explained some stuff, and I was like, he was helpful. So Monday, we're here. I'm like, you know what? Not getting my car till probably Wednesday. So, and this would make it 2 weeks until I was supposed to get my car. Well, a week and a half, because I started Wednesday, and this would have been the Wednesday after the Wednesday. So yeah, so I'm at school for Wednesdays. My days are kind of long somewhat, and so, well, Monday, sorry, my Mondays are kind of long for me. So what it is 9 through 9:50 I have chemistry, and then after that it's from 1 to 3:50. That's when I have my chemistry lab. So I was doing everything, and then out of nowhere I got a call from spam likely. And so I picked up, and I was like, hello. And it was like, yes, Miss Burns. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, do you want to hear the great news? And I was like, I would need some right now. Yeah. So that's when she was like, okay, so your car is coming. Your car is done. Everything's finished. And for your inconvenience, we filled up your tank. Yeah, so forth. I was like, okay, great. And she was like, well, to get your car delivered, would you be, you know, okay if we delivered at 5 o'clock? We're talking about, this is when we got out of class, it was 3:50. I said, in an hour? Okay, bet. I'm finna go home. I told my study buddy, like my lab partner, I told her, yeah, I'm finna go home. An emergency came up, I'll be back. Maybe. So yeah, that happened. She was understanding. She was like, yeah, because we weren't really doing anything. So yeah, I got here, waited. And I was kind of nervous, because I was like, okay, now what if they say a delay happened again and I'm just stuck and I'm just gonna be upset? So continue to wait. Y'all, tell me why Carvana then pulled up in my neighborhood. I almost cried. So we were going through all the stuff. Okay, and if y'all have any questions or want to know anything about Carvana, about my process that I didn't explain, y'all can just let me know. You can go ahead and put it under the video, things like that, and then I'll just answer the questions. And thanks for watching again. Hope y'all enjoyed.